Hi, and welcome to our channel. It's Jennifer today. I am getting ready to start another year of teaching Catholic Catechism, and this year I am changing up my ways. So I have been teaching Catholic Catechism to Catholic middle schoolers and high schoolers for over 10 years now, and I also teach confirmation classes, but this year I feel called to make some big changes. Why? Well, because I've noticed over the past 2, 3, 4 years that the way my students are learning has changed. What used to be very effective and helpful in the classroom no longer is, so it is time to shake things up. So let's start with what's not working. And the biggest change that I'm seeing is that my students just are not interested at all in watching any type of video in class anymore. They are just done with that. Why? I don't know. I have a couple of theories. I think maybe going through the pandemic with that long distance video-based learning that didn't always work out so well, I think that kind of took the joy of videos away. Also, almost every single student I teach has a cell phone, so they can just take out that phone and watch videos anytime, anywhere. Videos are no big deal. They are just another way to pass the time. So over the past couple of years, I have been slowly phasing videos out of my classroom teaching. I still do use them because there are a lot of great Catholic videos out there, but in the past I might have shown 3 or 4 and my students might have been so excited to see, oh, it's Father Mike or whomever. But now I'll limit myself to 1, maybe 2, if it's a really good one and it's short, but whatever I show in the classroom has to be really great, really pertinent, and really helpful. Okay, so if I'm not using as many videos to teach in class anymore, what am I doing instead? What am I changing? Each class I teach is an hour and a half, so that's quite a bit of time, and it's a challenge sometimes to fill up that time, especially if I'm not leaning on videos as much. However, I have come up with 5 different things that I'm changing, doing differently that have been working for me. Okay, so the first and most important one, I think, is very simple, and that is just have more conversations. As I said, the kids don't care about videos. They can watch videos anytime they want, but what they can't do is talk to someone in real life as often as they want. A lot of these kids go from, school to activities to homework, and they really don't have a lot of conversations with real people in their everyday lives. They are hungry for people to talk to. They just want someone to listen to them. And I really, really hate it when I have to cut off a conversation so that we can get on to the next video. So my solution to that is just no more videos. So the second thing I'm doing that's a little bit different is that I am using more memes in class than ever before because my students really like them. In fact, they have told me that they like them. Memes are fun. Who doesn't like a good meme? And they require a little bit of brain work, right? You have to look at the picture, read the text, put it all together, and wait for that light bulb moment. So that usually sparks some conversation. The students will laugh or they'll make comments about the meme, and that just gets everybody, kind of going, like the brains are rolling, working, waking up. There are a ton of really good Catholic memes out there that you can just find in a quick internet search, so that one has definitely been a winner for me. The third thing I'm changing up is that I am relying a lot more on notebooking or journaling in my class. At the beginning of the year, I'll give each student a blank spiral notebook, and we will use that for the whole year. And I use the notebook in several different ways. Often I will have them write down Bible verses. I'll have them look it up in the Bible and then copy it down, that good hand-brain-mind connection. I'll also have them copy out Catholic prayers in their notebook so that when we say those prayers, they just flip to the right page and then they can say it. I will also have them write down definitions like Eucharist or transubstantiation so that they have a written record of the things that we were talking about in class. Another way that I really, really like using the notebooks is for conversation. And I know that sounds weird. How can you have a notebook and conversation, What I do is this. I will throw out a conversation question or a discussion question, and I'll say, Write the answer in your notebook. If it's your opinion, or write 3 things in your notebook about this question or whatever, and then I give them the chance to do that, because it's hard when you're put on the spot and someone asks you a question and you just have to come up with an answer right away. So if I give them a couple of minutes to think about this and get it down on paper, then I find that my students are a lot more confident when we actually get to the point of talking about the answer out loud. The introverts in my class, maybe they're not going to ever raise their hand and answer a question or offer an opinion, but still they're participating because they have written down the answers in their notebook. And the kids who are always, raising their hand and they want to answer every single question, they're just going to blurt things out. This slows them down a little bit, and they have to kind of think a little bit more about what their answer might be. So I find that putting it down on paper first before we discuss it really helps get a lot more of the class involved. And again, they also have that written record of the things that we talked about in class. The fourth thing I am changing up is that my class is doing a lot more service projects than I've had them do in the past. My kids are older, these students are high school, middle school. They want to do real things that really help people and make a difference. And since the class I teach is called discipleship, what do disciples do? Disciples serve. So I've come up with a list of easy service projects that we can do together as a class. Some of them are really fun, like making shopping totes out of old t-shirts. This is a no-sew project that the kids cut up and tie knots in these t-shirts, turn them into shopping bags, and then those go to the St. Vincent de Paul Food Bank, so that's a big win. The kids also will participate in the Box of Joy program from Cross Catholic Outreach every fall, bringing in toys and treats to fill up a shoebox for a child in need, usually overseas. A lot of times I'll have them write letters to seminarians. The seminarians of our diocese are away from home and they're lonely and they get a lot of junk mail, but not often fun things in the mail. So this is a great surprise for them to get letters from my students in the mail. Often I will divide up the class and have each group of kids praying for a different priest for the coming week. Maybe our parish priest and then the Pope and the Bishop. Sometimes we'll write out prayers and take them to the Adoration Chapel, things like world peace and the end of abortion, and take those right to Jesus and pray with him there in the chapel. That's a real work of mercy, praying for the living and the dead. So there are just a whole bunch of different fun things that they can do, the spiritual adoption. All of these service projects are really helpful, and again, they foster that sense of community, and the kids really get to know each other and talk to each other while they're working on these projects. Number 5, I am incorporating more activities into class time. These activities are different from service projects. So when I think of the word activity, I think of maybe a small craft or an icebreaker, or maybe doing a short skit or a short Bible play. That type of thing really seems to go over well, even with the older kids. Even the older kids like to sit and make a Christmas ornament, or they like to make an edible rosary out of M&Ms. So we'll make the rosary and then say a decade of the rosary, and then they get to eat the rosary. So that's always a lot of fun. Again, there are a lot of ways that you can make learning more active, and I find that that's what really is engaging my students a lot more, not just sitting there watching a video. Okay, so some of you might wonder, well, what about your religious ed textbook? Don't you have a book you should be teaching from? And the answer is yes, here it is. I'm still using it. But again, I'm doing it a little bit differently. For each chapter that I teach, I'm looking it over and I'm asking myself, what are the big ideas from this chapter, the big theology that my students absolutely need to know? And whatever that is for the week, I make sure I'm incorporating that into our class time, into the skits or activities, or I'll have them write down definitions, like I said, or Bible verses that support that. And so yes, this book is a good guide, but I am realizing more and more that I can't teach my kids everything. Even if I wanted to, it would be just impossible. The only thing that I can do every year is I can build on what they already know, and I can help lay the foundation for what they will be learning in the future. My class is an important part of their journey, but it's not their whole journey. So those are 5 of the things that I am changing up this year in my classroom. The changes have been coming on over a couple of years, but I think I'm ready to go full out with them this year. Some of the things I'm not going to change, things I've done in the past, like I always bring food for my class. Jesus always fed his people, so I always want to feed my people. But I do think, I do need to move with the times and recognize when something isn't working anymore for my students and letting it go. And in this case, it's the videos. So let me know in the comments down below, are you changing up anything for this year? Do you have a new book, a new style, a new idea? Do you have a service project that I could add to my list? I would love to hear about it. I hope the video was helpful for you, and I do thank you for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye.